Hello sports personalities, this is Steve Wascher here in Erie, Pennsylvania at Fish USA. Today we're going to be doing a few simple steelhead flies. It's mid-August here in Erie, and within the next 30 to 40 days we're going to see those chromers running the creeks. The Lake Erie tribs between Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York will be filled with these fish. We all love to catch them, and I'm going to teach you a couple of very simple flies that are very, very effective. The fly that I'll be tying next is called a Frammus. Now there's a variety of different ways you can tie this. Personally, I like to tie it on the smaller scale and keep it very sparse and very simple. The hook I'm going to be utilizing today is a Mustad C67S in a size 10. It's 2 extra heavy and 3X short. It's a very stout hook with a straight eye. Works great. You can tie this. I wouldn't go any bigger than this. Unless it's turbid water, take it down to a 12, maybe even a 14. The thread I'm using is a fluorescent orange 6/0 Danville thread. I found for most of my steelhead egg patterns that a fluorescent orange or a red thread works best. I've experimented with others. You could use white, would be fine. Chartreuse, not so great, at least on some of these. As good as color chartreuse is, but however. So you're going to need 2 materials. You're going to need some medium-sized chenille, and this is crystal chenille. It's got a crystal fleck in it. And you're going to need some Glo-Bug yarn or McFly foam. Very simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to affix my thread to my hook shank with a jam knot, cut off my tag end. Notice my scissors never leave the hand. I'm going to give it a thread base back to the point of the barb, which is right there. Not the point of the hook, but the point of the barb. That's going to be our tie-in point for our chenille. So what I'm going to do is this. I am going to take a small section. I'm going to take half the hank of this Glo-Bug yarn. You can see where I've cut some for another project. I'm going to take about half of that, and I'm going to need about 1 inch, no more. I might even thin that down. I probably will thin it down. Set that aside. And I'm going to cut that piece in half because I can use this other section for another fly. I don't need a lot of this. So you can see, I think if we were to give it some tactile discrimination, it would be the size of a paper matchstick. All right. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take it and I'm going to place it forward. And I'm going to tie it in open spirals. I want to try and keep this on top of the hook shank. And I'm going to take it up to just behind the eye of the hook, so there's a little tiny space there. Now I'm going to wrap it back with consecutive wraps, one right next to the other. And I'm going to cut off any tag end that I may have. All right, I'm going to keep that forward. Next, I'm going to take my chenille, and I'm going to utilize the rotary feature of this vise, because the Renzetti vise, I'm going to take and I'm going to pull off, I'm going to pinch this really tight, and I'm going to pull off some of that chenille because there's a 2-thread cotton core at the base. I want to utilize that cotton core. All right. I'm going to come in, and right where the chenille and the cotton core are separated, the thread core, that's going to be my tie-in point, right above the tip of the barb. I'll make 1, 2, 3 wraps, and I'm going to continue in succession up the shank of the hook. Now, I'm going to give it with my fingers a quick whip finish because I'm going to utilize the rotary feature of this vise. I'm going to bring up my bobbin cradle and I'm going to shore up my working distance. I'm going to trim off any excess material that I have there. Something else you can do is you can take your head cement with your applicator bottle and put just a small dollop of cement there. You don't need much. And you don't want to get it too close to the Glo-Bug yarn because it'll make it stiff and it won't flow back over that body. Alright, so here we go with the rotary feature. 1, 2, 3 wraps. Ta-da! Simple. Turn my cradle arm down. short my working distance. I'm going to come behind my chenille with one, and I wiggle that thread so that it sinks in there. 2, 3 wraps, pull it taut back, and a couple wraps in front. I'm going to cut off, I'm going to kick my bobbin out of the way with my thumb and fork, or with my left hand. That's so I don't cut my thread. Trim off my excess. Now, I'm going to take and pull the Glo-Bug yarn back and pinch it. Now I'm going to fashion a little tiny head with my orange thread. Okay, successive wraps. And I'm going to whip finish by hand. Do it again. Now what I want to do is, I'm just going to take and separate. You can use a brush for this, a little fine-tooth comb. I have one of those copper toothbrushes that are used in a gun cleaning kit that I utilize at home. Works great, but in this case, just the tips of the scissors will work. And I'm going to fan that out. Now I don't want that real long, but basically what I do is I take my material, I pinch it, I go to the bend of the hook, and I cut it. Okay. Degree of translucency there. Now what I'm going to do is give it a shot of head cement right there on my thread wraps. Next I'm going to clear the eye of the hook with my bodkin. Now I'm ready to go fishing. Color choices. This is a white body with a chartreuse wing or overlay. Just the reverse of this is one of my favorites. However, I also like an orange body with a chartreuse wing. Very effective, especially in clear water. Chartreuse and white, chartreuse and a touch of chartreuse. Your combinations are endless based upon your favorite stream, water clarity, water conditions, and how fresh the fish are into the creek. So very easy to tie, very simple, very effective. See you on the water for Fish USA. I'm Steve Wascher. God bless. Hope to see you on the stream. Have a good day. Goodbye.